Hello everyone on YouTube. Today we're here with a Hololive deck profile. Hololive released a while back, but I've been busy, so I haven't been really able to make any videos. I have a few free months though, so I'll try to make more Weiss and game videos coming up. So what I have here today is a very interesting deck idea that is pretty popular in Japan, and that is the Marine and Kanata deck. So I saw this deck and I thought it was very interesting because you don't play any level 1 or even level 2 combo, you play two level 3 combos together, and it actually works really well. I went undefeated at my locals. We were playing trios, 4 rounds, and this deck just functioned very well, and it's a very efficient deck and it's a very powerful deck once it gets rolling. So today we'll show you how the deck works and talk about why you should choose this build, maybe over other builds. Alright. So let's start off with the level zeros. For level 0 we're playing 2 Miko Drop Search. Alright, pretty standard. It helps red fix in the deck. It's a 3/5 body and it's a drop search for utility. I'm also playing one of this green 3/5 drop search. It's plus 2k in center slot. I don't have a third Miko on me at the moment. I'll be getting one soon, so this is like my stand-in for that. But yeah, basically 3 Miko. Next we're playing 2 copies of the Aqua Riki. You can play more of this if you want. I just have space for 2, and I haven't missed it all that much, so 2's been working out for me. Generally, when going first, you want to try to open one of these 5 cards because they're 3/5 bodies, pretty hard for your opponent to get over. And then this one, unless it gets clock or stock bombed, it can get you advantage going into the following turns. So very good cards. And then next up we have 1 green Climax Swapper. It's also 3k, so you can throw this down turn 1 and sometimes it can live as well. Next, for more greens, we're playing 2 of the On Death Salvage Riki. So this is pretty useful because it lets you color fix if you're missing a color, and you can salvage anything in your waiting room. And since it's happens when it's sent to the waiting room, it works off a lot of other cards you play in the deck, which sends another character on your field to the waiting room. So good card for utility, something you could definitely play more of as well if you have space in your deck. I'm just playing 2. And then next up we're playing 3 of the Kanata level 0. So it's a 001k. What it does is on play you can discard Bond to the level 3 combo Kanata, right? And you can also discard Hololive, I think. Discard any card and then send this to the waiting room to salvage any Hololive from the waiting room. So very useful utility card. This deck basically tries to go off at level 2, and this card, it's like 1 card it could have fix your entire hand for the combo, so excellent to have. Not great to see early, but definitely something you need in the deck. And then next we're playing 3 of this Coco Drop Brainstorm, so it gives 1k to your level 3 Kantas, which makes them 11k, makes them a bit stronger. It's a Draw Brainstorm, Brainstorm 5, but it's pretty good. Also helps yellow fix in the deck. If you want, you could definitely find space to play like a real Brainstorm if you find the draw is not selective enough, but so far haven't had too much issues with this. Next, for more yellow, we're playing 3 Coco Clean Cuts. So in Japan, what they play for yellow, because they have the premium booster, is there's a yellow version of the Aqua Riki, but we don't have that in English, so I'm just substituting Coco for more yellow fix in the deck. And the reason why yellow is important is because you play some yellow level 3s that help push you for game. So even though it's the last color you level in the deck, yellow is quite important. And then on that note, we're playing 1 of the yellow Climax Swap as well, just for a bit more yellow in the deck. And then the last level 0 in the deck is this Pekora. So it's a global 500, and on play you can mark a Hololive from your waiting room under it, and during your turn, when it's sent from stage to waiting room with a marker, you can return to the stage rested. So there are a lot of cards in this deck that send cards from your field to the waiting room for effects, and this is a free send because it comes back with a marker. So I've been having a lot of success with this card. The Global 500 is surprisingly relevant, especially if you play Hololive mirrors, as it's pretty popular right now in the English format, right? Everyone knows that Hololive, every deck plays all these oversized 3/5 zeros, right? Your Drop Search, your Aqua keys. If you have the Global 5, it makes all your zeros 500 bigger than your opponents, which makes it really annoying for them to get over, right? So don't underestimate the power, and the free sack effect is definitely really good. Of course, you're free to take this out for anything else in the deck as well. Maybe more of this Ricky or this Aqua Ricky. But that's the level 0 lineup. Playing a good amount of level 0s because you do want to play aggressive early and you don't want to brick, so there's those. Next up for level 1s, 4 of the red 1/0 Miko from the TD. So this Miko is pretty good for the deck. 1, it's red fix. I usually like level 1 of these. And 2, it also has like a pseudo clock encore. You encore a Hololive character from your waiting room to your clock to encore this. So it's a 6k cross turn beat stick, and it helps accelerate you to level 2. And again, level 2 is where this deck really starts going off. So you want to get to level 2 as quickly as possible while still maintaining like a playable hand size, and this just helps with that. And then the other level 1 we're playing is 2 of the Rushia. So she's Shimakai on attack, and on play you can sack one of your characters to top check. If it's a Hololive character, you can add it to your hand. So you can sack one of your 1 sent to waiting room Rickies, or the Pekora that comes back for free to get cards. So it's pretty good. You can also play this without color requirement. So if you level red level 1, which is generally what I do, but sometimes I don't have red, so I level green and then clock red. But you level red, even if you don't have green, you can still play this down. So there's that. Following up for level 2s, we're playing quite a few level 2s here. We're playing these. Okay. So we're playing 3 of this Kanata vanilla 3k backup, 1 anti-change, 1 as counter, and then 1 level assist. The level assist, you can play the yellow 2k assist to level 3s as well if you want. I'll play the tall one because you could potentially get a free stock, and it's green, which makes it easier to play down at level 2, where you mostly level red-green, whereas the Coco 2k assist to level 3s, that's yellow. It's a tiny bit harder to get the yellow condition early on. So I guess maybe now's a good time to explain what this deck does. So this Kanata backup from the TD, on field it has a Clevis combo with the Stock Soul. So you play the Stock Soul. When this is on the field, you can send this to a waiting room to play the level 3 Kanata from your hand. So generally you want to try to have at level 2 like 2 of these in your hand, and then 2 backups in your hand, and then 2 Kanatas and the Climax. So these 5 cards are what you want for level 2. You play down these 2, you play the Climax before you use the Stock Soul. You use the Climax combo to send these to the waiting room, and then play these Kanata from your hand. And then these Kanata on play from your hand, you can heal 1, and then you can do the Stock Soul to give them all +1 soul. If you want to punch for 2s, you can do the Stock Soul before you send the 2 1s to the waiting room. Then these will not get the +1 soul. So you can control that, that's up to you. And then Climax combo, when you're entering the attack phase with these level 3s, if you have the Climax in play, you could choose 2 Hololive characters in your waiting room, salvage any number to your hand, and then the ones that you don't add to your hand, you can send them to the stock. So this is just a great advantage engine to help set up your other level 3, which is the Marune combo. So the reason why this sets up Marune so well is because if you have the combo, say you go Stock Soul, you have 2 of these, and then you have another character attacking, this gives you a stock, you attack 3 times, you have 4 stock, and then these 2 you can salvage 3 Marunes plus another card from your waiting room, right? If you have 2 of these, you can salvage 4. So get 3 Marines and you have 4 stock, and 4 stock is enough to do triple Marine for 3 burns and 3 attacks. Another thing in this deck that's deceptively powerful is the deck's defense. So on offense, these are 10k base with a stock soul, not that strong. Of course, if you have the Global 5 and the Brainstorm, you can pump them up a bit more. So these are usually around 11k with 1 Brainstorm. So the reason why you generally want to hit level 2 first and you play cards that clock yourself to accelerate you to level 2 is because these are weak attacking, but if you're level 2 first and you're attacking into ones, it's generally okay. But because of their salvage effect, a lot of times if you're not about to hit level 3, you can just salvage back all these backups you play, and with the 3k backup, this is 3k backup plus the Brainstorm, this is 14k on defense, which makes it very strong, and looping this multiple turns in a row generates you a lot of advantage. Even if they get removed, say you salvaged back this level 0, right? You can play this to bond to one of these from your waiting room and then sack it, discard another card in your hand to either get a backup or another one of these, whatever you're missing, and play them out again. So you can heal loop with them as well, because every time they're played out, you get to heal 1. So yeah, it's a very consistent advantage and heal engine starting from level 2, and it sets you up for further plays in the game. So that's very, very strong. Yeah, so these vanilla backups part of the engine. And then of course, the tap counter is very situational in this deck, but in the games where you're far enough ahead to where you don't need to go all in with your finisher and the priority is just to survive, this can be very good because you could easily maintain a full hand size every turn. Granted, for this to be effective, you do have to win the board. The anti-change, because if you're salvaging 4 to 6 every turn with your Kanata combo, the discard 2 is not a high cost to pay, and this can be important in certain matchups, such as if you're playing against the Russia Hololive deck. I played against one in the Trios tournament actually, and he attacked with his Russia into my Kanatas, and my anti-change absolutely destroyed him. I just won the game starting from level 2 because of that. So all good salvage options for your level 3 Kanata combo. Yeah, and that's it for the level 2s. Then level 3s, of course, we're playing the Kanatas, playing 4 of these, right? And then 4 Marines. So for those that don't know, Marine is on play, you can sack another character you have on the field to top 3, add 1 to hand, send 1 to stock, and discard the other one. So these are effectively only 1 stock to play. And then with the Gate Climax, it's on attack, pay 1, discard a Hololive to burn 2, and it gets 2k power. So with just 4 stock and then enough cards in your hand, you can do triple Marine, because these only cost 1 stock to play since they refund 1 stock. You have 1 stock left over, go to attack phase, play down CX, burn 2, swing, burn 2, swing, burn 2, swing. That's 6 instances of damage, very efficient finisher. And you can easily get these off your Kanata combo, right? And then you don't have to worry too much about finding the Gate Climax because these top 3, so very easy to find the Gate Climax, very consistent. We also play 2 Climax Swappers, although to be honest, the Climax Swapper is usually used just for looping the stock soul because that's harder to get to compared to your Gate when you can play down the Marines. Yeah, so 4-4, and then I'm playing 2 more level 3s. We're playing a yellow stock swap, so I think this is mandatory to play in the deck. It's just very good utility, and sometimes your opponent has very greedy deck states where they have a bunch of climaxes left in a small deck with like a mid-league to large stockpile, and this just absolutely destroys them. So have to play this one. And then I'm kind of playing this Shiranui Flare as a tech, so it's a on play cancel burn, and then on play you can discard pay 1, discard 1 to give it cancel burn 1 again. So 2 instances cancel burn, and what this does is this basically functions as like your 5th copy of your Marine. So same idea, if you don't have access to 3 triple Marine, you can do 2 and 1 of this. So you play these out for 2 stock, and then you can play this, and then you have to pay 1, discard 1, so this requires 5 stock instead of 4, but 5 stock's not very hard to get in this deck. 4 stocks, like pretty much if you low roll, you'll always have 4 stock, but generally you'll have more than that. So 5 stock, you can do this if you can't find your other Marines. And then yeah, you just attack with this first to get a stock back, and then you still have enough stock for your other 2 Marines. So optional to play this, but just kind of like a consistency to the finisher, because sometimes these like get stuck in your stock or your clock or something and you don't find them. So it's just basically a 5th copy. Alright, and then obviously for climaxes, playing 4 stock soul, and then 4 of the gate climax. Yeah. So that's it for the deck profile. Hope you enjoyed. Any questions, ask in the comments. I found this deck to be very fun. It's a interesting deck because it's very non-standard. As I've said, you play 2 level 3 combos. So that's what drew me to it, and it's being very successful. It's very consistent. It's quite powerful, and it's very toolboxy. So if you like decks where you have a lot of different options and you can consistently get to those options, more of like a mid-range deck, then you'll enjoy this one as well. Yeah, see you next time.